Since his introduction, it has shown to be one of the most powerful and potential-laden warriors ever brought forth into Dragon Ball. This is no surprise, as he claims to be over 1,000 years old and has been an assassin for hire longer than any of our heroes have been alive. However, with this came a strong sense of apathy towards his personal growth. It wasn't until facing Goku he's able to reignite his desire to become stronger and perfect his already intensely powerful abilities. As we saw, he was able to multiply his time skip several times over in only his few minutes of battle with Earth's hero. What if he devoted 1,000 years to becoming the most unimaginable version of himself? Universe 6 Assassin stares deeply into the void, pondering his failure at the Tournament of Power. Hindsight being as clear as it is, he can see now that from the beginning he stood no chance against Jiren, and likely a few others. Although having improved himself with the inadvertent, or knowing the Saiyan, intentional help of Goku, it didn't take long for it to become clear that he still had a lot he could improve on. Even having pushed himself to new limits at the tournament itself, his ability to time skip has undoubtedly evolved, and having heroically defended his universe from certain annihilation at the hands of Grand Zeno himself, he wonders if there might come another time when his power alone might not be enough. Although he may be eager to test his new abilities, manipulating time any more than he already does is considered illegal. If the gods themselves don't catch wind of it, surely the Galactic Patrol will get lucky enough to spot him. Suddenly, a familiar strength emerges, and with it, time stops. He whips around to face this mysterious stranger, but there's no mistaking that energy signature. Although it may seem impossible, this warrior is no stranger. It's none other than himself, older with a darker, more cynical edge to his presence. It's clear that this iteration has been through much more than the current, even given how long he's been alive. In addition to a massive amount of power which far surpasses his own present abilities, he doesn't know whether he should tremble in fear or rejoice that he managed to stay alive for so long, not to mention to also achieve such heights in terms of his strength. The two assassins stand before each other in a deep silence, merely reading the other's energy and trying to predict what their next move could be. One of which obviously having a bit more insight than the other. Surprisingly, the present hit finally utters that he can't believe he would ever live long enough to get this sloppy. He condemns how he must not have the Galactic Patrol in his future self's timeline, but in this one, they're still very much around and time travel is considered an illegal offense, one that could compromise his entire current operation. As he leads a relatively comfortable life and wishes not to be disturbed with such inconvenience, Future Hit needs to leave here immediately. Alas, speaking himself, the time traveler rolls his eyes that he can't believe that he was ever this naive. He doesn't understand what his returning here means. The two of them, their ability to control time will one day permit them freedoms only the gods know. The only difference is their method is far superior. And he knows what he's thinking. A mortal doesn't need the power of a god to live a mortal life, but the demand for such power will come from a need, not a mere desire. He stands before him as a testament to the choice his past self will one day have to make. What's more, he knows that he can feel it, even now as they're having this conversation. After every battle that pushes him to his limit, another speck of sand in the hourglass becomes his to mold as he sees fit. Eventually, he will learn not just to freeze time, but also travel in it. The gods will see this as a problem, and the day will come when he does have to face them. He'll accept a contract, one that he cannot refuse. Actually, he will quite literally have no choice but to accept given who's offering it. And it'll be that defining moment that makes the difference between himself of the present and himself of the future. He must kill God himself. As utterly asinine as it sounds, he must find a way to kill the Omni King. Even at this stage of his life, his future iteration, he won't possess the power needed to take him on. He would perhaps need an infinite amount of time to train to prepare for him. Luckily, for them, time is of no concern. Upon his arrival to this timeline, he ensnared them both in a time prison that acts as a sort of hyperbolic time chamber, as best explained to the viewer. Or maybe the realm on Earth isn't as uncommon as we've been led to believe. With one duel, he will help Future Hit construct a new technique, perhaps the strongest technique in the universe. This is where the Hit that we've come to know begins to grow intrigued. A new technique, he says. What exactly does he mean by this? Is he talking about something that he can simply use in combat? This will go one step beyond what they call pure progress. It's in fact infinite progress. The two of them in this pocket dimension can volley each other to a level never before seen in all of reality. This absurdity is enough to break the present hit's interest. He's heard enough of this. His meddling with time has caused the quickening of madness to shape his mind and take a deep hold. What he speaks of is utter nonsense and will only serve to anger the few beings that could dare stand up against him. If he won't leave this timeline, he will make him leave. Which is exactly what his opposite is counting on. Hit and Future Hit place their hands in their pockets, preparing to engage one another. A battle which transcends the fabric of time begins. Each fighter knows the other's techniques and strategies instinctively. Of course, being far more experienced, Future Hit strikes a critical blow, demonstrating the power gap between him and his past self. With an opening now created, he continues the assault. The blows reverberate through the timeless pocket dimension created by Future Hit. The immense power his future self presents overwhelms Hit. But he still feels like this battle isn't a loss. It's not impossible. Though in agony, he can't escape the feeling of deja vu. A calming electric sensation runs throughout his body. Then suddenly something awakens from within him. Future Hit senses it. It's what he's been waiting for all along. New memories flood his mind. He remembers both his past and future as an infinite event, outside of both space and time. He uses his time skip to gain control over time itself, the source and never-ending fountain of both their ki. He is awoken as Infinite Hit. With the flow of time altered within the time prison, he has both just arrived and has been here all along. Mastering his new form, mastering his new technique. Infinite progress. The timeless battle rages on. The more Future Hit pushes past Hit, the more the former adapts to using infinite progress to push Future Hit to new levels. Think about it this way. Within Hit's pocket dimension, time travel doesn't work in the sense of creating a new timeline, but a single linear one. If Future Hit makes his past self stronger, it'll basically give him a new starting point, making it so he himself gains similar experience by altering his own past. Or something like this. Time travel is hard. Meanwhile, at Grand Zeno's palace. Looking in on this, the two Omni Kings. In contrast to the sinister tone of the situation at hand, here, it seems the duo are just as jubilant as ever. One exclaims how hiring Hit to assassinate the two of them was an awesome idea. He's been watching his progress on GodTube for 1,000 years now. The other comments how it's truly Goku they need to thank. They kinda stole his idea. But just how strong is Hit now? The Grand Priest interrupts to inform His Majesties that they will need to wonder no longer. Hit has arrived to carry out his contract, and he's made quick work of the palace guards, he might add. Presenting himself, the assassin utters that in honor of their greatness, he has come to fulfill their request. He has come to kill them. One floats over to him and shouts that he really showed them a great time. Though, he's still nowhere near powerful enough to destroy them. As one might expect, to defeat the Omni King, it's not exactly a matter of how strong one is. Instead, they'd like to offer him a job. Almost instinctively knowing what this job may be, Hit accepts. Giving him new attire, they announce the canonization of Infinite Hit, Time God of Destruction. A 1,000-year journey comes to an end with the multiversal assassin Hit promoted to Time God of Destruction. But what could this new position entail? Will he play a role similar to Xenoverse Trunks in servicing Cronoa? Or did the Omni Kings have something very different in mind?